Hey guys, Kinsey here, and I am here at the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo, which is in New Westminster, BC, so by Vancouver, and it's awesome. There's so many people here this year. This is like my third or fourth year coming to this. Fourth year? Third year. A couple years. And it's so fun. I love this convention because it's only a one-day con, and what's kind of fun about that is it's not like, you know, all 3 days at the con and it's really exhausting. It's only one, and then that gives me an extra day to go to like breweries or whatever because I'm going to do that tomorrow. And the booths here are awesome. There's every single year, there's this really cool import booth that has really good prices. So I already bought stuff from there, of course. Kind of went there first thing. And I'll do all my pickups at the end of the video. But yeah, let's go check out the show floor.
So here it is in all of its glory, the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo, or BRGE if you're cool, or a person, or whatever. But it was so great. Look at how big it is this year. They had a really nice group of vendors. There was stores as well as individual collectors, fun geeky jewelry, t-shirts, you name it. And one of the best things about expos is seeing all your great friends and hanging out and talking games with people you don't get to see all the time, which is fantastic. And did I mention that there was a shit ton of games here? There were so many games. Look at the games. Games. And then, of course, over here is the infamous import booth. I look forward to seeing this booth every year. At most of the conventions I go to, there isn't, a booth quite like this. Most of them just have a couple imports and then, a whole bunch of regular NTSC stuff or US stuff. Whatever, guys. But, did I mention games? There's games, lots of games. And had a great diversity of stuff, too. I mean, look, a Vectrex, a Super Famicom hotel changer thingy. Up here, there's even Atom Computer in the box with the printer. There she blows. And it's so fun. Great diversity of stuff. I did a lot of shopping. Not as much buying as usual, but that's mainly because vacation is expensive. But, I came home with some good stuff. Also, there was a fantastic artist alley. I mean, stained glass, art, jewelry, even pillows. I bought a catnip toy for my cat in this room. It was great. I loved it. And also, I got to play some games in their free play area. Their free play area was huge, and I should probably add that it was also right next to the bar. So perfect placement. And as well, making the con circuit is the Nintendo PlayStation. So I had to stop by and see it running in all of its glory. He was really nice, letting you take pictures with it, try it out. It was great to see. And then, of course, had to go to the immortal John Hancock's panel. One of my heroes talking about keeping passion alive in video games. So now that you got to see all the awesomeness that was the expo itself, now you can see what I actually got. And I got basically a lot of imports like I did last year and the year before that and the year before that. But let's take a look. So to start with, I got Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. Yes. So it's kind of like Pokemon Puzzle League for the N64. But this was the first one on the Game Boy Color. And I don't know, I got it because it's cute and adorable, and I really like Pokemon, especially more of kind of the Game Boy era. So this one does have some guys from the Gold and Silver, and yeah, I really like Tetris Attack as well, and Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge is such a good version of Tetris Attack. So if they have it for cheap, and why not? It's adorable. And next up, also adorable,
This one is Dokapon Ikari no Tetsuken, and this is from the popular Dokapon series, which is a RPG battler, which is more like a Mario Party style, where you roll and move around a board and things like that. And the point of this one is to try and become king, because the king in the beginning of this starts giving out all kinds of money, and then you realize he's fake king, so then you gotta be king. So these games are all really fun. We didn't get very many of them in the US. We did get Dokapon Kingdom on the PS2 and the Wii, which is actually a remake of the Super Famicom version. So this version we never got in the US. Again, it was a cheap import that I love this series and I didn't have it, so yes. And next up, also an import, is Poppin' Music. And Poppin' Music is one of my favorite rhythm game arcade machines, with the exception of Taiko, of course. But this is so much fun, and hopefully I can get the controller as well. So this is the PlayStation 1 version. It's also like on the Dreamcast and stuff. So yeah, maybe one day I'll get the controller and eventually I'll be able to play it. Maybe. So, yep, I love this series, so thought might as well pick it up. And then next, we have the Neverhood, or in Japan, it's Clayman, because you play as Clayman. And this is actually the only region that got a copy on PlayStation 1, which I thought was super interesting. And this is one of those games that I played on the PC, because that's the only place it came out in the US, when I was little, and I just have such fond memories of it. Also, the kind of spiritual successor sequel is Skull Monkeys, which did come out in the US on PlayStation. So, yeah. And apparently Clayman was so popular in Japan that they also have some sort of shoot-off. I don't remember if it's golf or bowling, or it's one of those sports things that's kind of based on this too. So it's kind of interesting, and it's a game that I have really fond memories of that didn't get a console release in the US, so I thought might as well grab it. All right, and next is Pokemon Snap. I love this game so much. So I already have it on the 64, the US copy, so I might as well get it in Japanese, because I'm one of those weird collectors who, when I really like a game, I like getting it in all the regions. I need all the Pokemon Snap. And what's cool about this game is some people are like, well, you just take pictures of Pokemon. Well, you do, and that's so much fun, and there's a whole bunch of secrets and stuff like that, but think of it as a rail shooter, and then you might put yourself in a different mindset when it comes to, well, you just take pictures of Pokemon. Well, you're on rails and you're shooting things with a camera. Rail shooter. Ta-da! And it's super fun, so haters gonna hate, but this game is great. And my next import is actually from a different vendor. So all the ones you just saw were from the infamous import vendor that is always at the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo. And so the next one I got from a different vendor, and it is Sailor Moon on the PC Engine. And this one is more kind of a collection of mini games. So as a lot of people know, I collect Sailor Moon games, but I am a terrible collector, because I got this and I was like, do I have it? I don't think I have it. But I kind of talked them down to a pretty good deal, so I'm not angry I got it, because what is this behind me? The same game. I already own it! Ah! I'm sure a lot of collectors go through the same struggle. I know I should probably be more organized, but whatevs. It's just not my style. All right, and speaking of anime and Japanese RPG stuff, brings me to my beer. And if you see my videos before, you know I always try to sneak a beer in, at least one. This video there is only gonna be one, but whatever, it's beer, it's great. And it's from a brewery that's up in Richmond, BC, Canada. And I always make sure to stop by there when I'm up there, usually for Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo is when I go up once a year. But that is Fuggles and Warlock Craftworks. And I'm actually reviewing this one because to kind of get you started, because I'm going to be doing kind of a whole little brewery highlight on Fuggles and Warlock, a video on it at some point in the future. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But they're so fun because they have really fun flavors of beer, and a lot of them are based on video game, kind of nerdy type things. So you know what? It's kind of right up my alley. And this one is The Last Strawberry. You might recognize this kind of picture from The Last Story, but this is a strawberry wit, And so it has strawberries in it. It gets kind of like a hazy color because they add lactose as well. And it says it has a nice little thing on the side. And you know what? Always read the cans, because sometimes there's a lot of information on there. Like this does say it's 4.9% alcohol by volume, 8 IBUs, which means it's like really not very bitter. So if you don't like bitter beers, this could be the one for you. It says a refreshing Belgian wit brewed with fresh strawberries and sweetened with lactose. Delicately sweet and slightly tart. All right, let's take a look. So it does have a little bit of, you know, that hazy kind of wit kind of color. Really light. Smells like fucking strawberries, so I'm already on board. It just is like overwhelmingly like fresh strawberries. Yeah, that's good. And it does kind of have like a fresh kind of almost strawberries and cream kind of flavor. But underneath that initial punch of strawberry, it's definitely just a nice, crisp, clean Belgian wit. It's really good. So it does have that kind of wheat beer taste going on. It's very good. Yep, very good. So if you think this flavor's cool, look out in the future for my Fuggles and Warlock video that will come out someday. All right. And next up, where to go next? So they had Artist Alley, of course, like most conventions do. I believe this was the first year to have like a legit Artist Alley besides like artists kind of sprinkled into the vendors. So that was really cool to see. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. I did buy a BioShock Infinite bracelet, so it's a Vigors bracelet, and I actually have a dress that I wore in the BioShock video I did with Eva that is also a Vigors dress, so I was like, damn, this is like so perfect. And I even got one for Eva because, obviously. So excited I got this. All right, and next up, I have a copy of Bubble Bobble on the Game Boy Color, and this is the Japanese version. And this was actually given to me by an awesome fan that I met at the show. So thank you so much again. And, you know, we talked a little bit about Bubble Bobble and Bust-A-Move, and it's awesome. So thank you so much. I don't have this. I am trying to get all of those, like, kind of Bub and Bob kind of games, so awesome. All right, and my next ones are from kind of the end of the night. There was one vendor that just kept discounting prices throughout the night. And eventually, because this expo actually goes pretty late, a lot of them close at like, 4 or 5 is when the vendor hall closes. This one closes, I think, at like, what was it, like 9, 10? I think it might have been 9. So that was really awesome. And at the end of the night, he was lowering all of his prices. Eventually, everything on the table was $1, which is like, for me, bargain central. And I was like, it was crazy though. Once he announced all video games are $1, it was like, whoosh. So I'm glad I was kind of like already there, because it was a little bit crazy. And I did make the mistake actually of like trying to get out of the crowd to like go around and like get to the other side of the table, and then I was just like fucked. But I did pick up some cool stuff from him. And so I got a couple of these Game Boy Advance games that are kind of like ports of NES games and of arcade games. So I got Gauntlet and Rampart, Paperboy, and Rampage, my personal favorite. And then this cart has Millipede, Super Breakout, Lunar Lander, and that's it. The other thing's a logo. But so, I mean, for $1 a piece, these are pretty killer. So I decided to grab those. And from the same vendor, also for $1, I picked up Steel Diver on the 3DS. And this is one I kind of had my eye on when the 3DS first came out. But this is not really like a full price kind of title. So $1 is perfect. So submarine exploration and combat. So why not? $1, that sounds perfect. And then I also got, for $1, Boom Blocks Bash Party. So Boom Blocks came out on the Wii, and it was a lot of fun. It kind of hit a lot of people by storm because it looks very budget title, but it was really fun. And, I know the next ones are all disc only, which kind of sucks, but I mean $1. But it's fine. So I got Boom Blocks Bash Party, their party version of Boom Blocks. I also got Donkey Konga on the GameCube. I love Donkey Konga. I already have it, but I kind of couldn't see it like sit there for $1 and no one was taking it. So I got it. And lastly, Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. I actually don't think I have this. I have Resident Evil 4 on like every other system, but not on the Wii, and now I do. So eventually I'll also get a box for it. Maybe. All right, so those are my pickups from the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo, and it's such a fun expo. It's only one day long, which is kind of nice because you don't really get like exhausted, and gives you plenty of time to hang out with people and see the city, which is one of the huge reasons I love this expo so much. And it's so much fun. I just love going up there. And you can find me on the internet at Kinzilla, Kinszilla, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thank you so much for watching, and thanks for subscribing. Cheers.